Hello and welcome to Good Morning Lancaster. It's Sunday and the last of 2014's new students are moving into Lancaster University.
Today we've got the Saturday highlights, the arrivals from today and the two fresher diaries from Diary of a Fresher.
We also have guests from Graduate and Bowland colleges to talk about their arrivals yesterday and to let us know what the freshers can expect from the rest of the week.
It's day 2 of freshers and this is Good Morning Lancaster.
Yesterday we saw over 1,000 students come into campus to begin their studies at Lancaster University. From all over the globe, students have to deal with a whole host of new challenges over the coming weeks.
Not only are they moving somewhere different for some thousands of miles from home, but most don't know anyone, have never lived on their own. Let's have a look at some highlights from yesterday.
It's the first day of arrivals for this year's freshers. The 5 campus colleges that are moving in today are Bowland, Furness, Grisdale, Cartmel and Graduate College. We'll now be going around to see how everyone's settling in. Hi, we're here with Erica. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks Jess. How are you?
I'm not too bad. So you're helping students move in?
I am.
Yeah, and how's it going here at Grad College?
It's going very well. I did it last year as well, and I think we're very excited that Arrivals Weekend gets better and better every year at Graduate College. We had a huge number of people show up for training last night, and there are lots of volunteers around, so it's very exciting.
Oh, that's great. Grad College is slightly different to all the other colleges, isn't it? It's split over 2 days. So can you tell us a bit about how that works and why?
Yeah, so Graduate College is the largest college on campus. There are nearly 1,000 new postgraduates arriving this weekend. If they all arrived at once, we in fact just couldn't cope. Plus, it's the most international college on campus, so people are in fact coming in from around the world, and so obviously that staggers arrivals as well. So splitting it over 2 days gives us a better chance of coping, but it does of course mean that it's a big weekend for the postgraduate board, and they've done a fabulous job this year of coordinating everybody to be here.
Okay, that sounds great. I'm here with Laura Clayson, Lancaster University Students' Union President. So what's the importance of Freshers Week for Lucy?
Well, it's really important for going out there and talking to new students and finding out who they are and what they're interested in. It's also really important to show them what we do for them as a students' union, be that through offering advice and support, getting them involved with volunteering activities, helping the JCRs and the PG board with running of their Freshers Weeks and making sure we're there to support them. Yeah, just like making sure that we're around and they know who we are and they know we're there to help them out, and we are student focused and student led, so that they definitely can feel supported throughout their experience at Lancaster.
Here with Michael, the Men's Welfare Officer for Cartmel. So how busy has it been so far?
It was pretty busy early in the morning, eased off at lunch I guess, and then just had a few stragglers every now and again. We're getting everyone into flats to prepare to take them off to the talk, but so yeah, it's died down mostly.
Today we've got arrivals from County, Lonsdale, Fylde and Pendle, bringing to a close the mammoth task of meeting and housing 3,000 students.
Here's a short video to briefly describe the remaining colleges that are arriving today and give freshers a heads up as what to expect.
It's moving in day for County. Built around this tree, it is the biggest college on campus. Freshers Week highlights include County Fest, which will see a variety of student bands and societies performing.
Slow cooking pancakes from my boy, still up, still fresh as a daisy. Playing ping pong all night long, everything's all neon and hazy. Chanel this, Chanel that, hell yeah, all my girls vintage Chanel baby. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. This is no big deal. This is how we do, yeah. Chillin', laid back, straight stuntin', yeah, we do it like that. This is how we do. This is how we do. This is how we do, yeah. Chillin', laid back, straight stuntin', yeah, we do it like that. This is how we do.
We're here outside the Red Lion Bar at the heart of Lonsdale College, whose students are moving in today. They're sure to have a brilliant Freshers Week, as they're renowned as the party college.
Barbara chic at La Superica, grabbing tacos, checking out hotties. Now we're talking astrology, getting our nails did all Japanesey. Day drinking at the Wildcat, sucking real bad at Mariah karaoke. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. This is no big deal. This is how we do.
Made famous by James May, we're here outside Pendle College, who are moving in today. Known for their live music events, one of the highlights of their Freshers Week will be a special Pendle Live.
Straight stun, yeah, we do it like that. This is how we do. This is how we do. Now we're talking astrology, getting our nails did all Japanesey. Day drinking at the Wildcat, sucking real bad at Mariah karaoke. It's no big deal.
It's moving in day for Fylde College. It is the most competitive college, and I'm sure this will come to light on the big night out during this week.
This is how we do, yeah. Chillin', laid back, straight stuntin', yeah, we do it like that. This is how we do. This is how we do. This is how we do, yeah. Chillin', laid back, straight stuntin', yeah, we do it like that. This is how we do. This is how we do.
It's the second day of arrivals for Graduate College, as new postgraduate students join those who moved in yesterday for their second Freshers Week.
This is how we do.
Now to talk about yesterday's arrivals and what today entails for the new students. Here is Chris Green, the Vice President of Bowland College. Chris, thank you for joining us today. How was your arrivals day, for a start?
It was really good, actually. Obviously, it's quite stressful at times. You got tons of people coming in all at once, but no hiccups. Everything went perfectly, and everyone that went out had a great night. So pretty well, actually. Yeah.
Did you go out last night then?
I didn't drink or anything. But
I was talking about your freshers, not you
yeah,
particularly.
they went to Hustle.
Did you go to Hustle with them?
I went to Hustle with them and sort of mothered them. But they had, from what I saw, they had a great night, yeah.
And how many freshers moved in yesterday?
Well, in total, there's, on campus, there's 391 freshers. Obviously, there's a few that are moving in today, but probably about 350.
That's pretty good.
So that's an awful lot of freshers to move in one day. How do you make sure that you said it all went very well, how do you make sure it runs so smoothly?
Basically, I took a very sort of rational approach of complete sort of systematic. Everything was done in the same way, and it seemed to work. Like, we had sort of stations set up, like everyone went on along the same sort of stations, and obviously told the reps what to do, and it actually worked really well, yeah.
Did you have many people standing outside saying honk for Bowland?
Yeah, we had tons of signs like saying Bowland baby and honk for Bowland.
I must say, we went to the roundabout, I think it was probably about 5 o'clock yesterday, and they were still there, so well done. No other college was still out with the signs at that point.
We're the keen college, that's why.
Well, congratulations for that. How does this year's Freshers Week compare to last year's?
Obviously, last year's was really good. The year before that was really good. I think the thing is, last year it was sort of planned out over a shorter period, whereas this year it's been dragged out a little bit more, which is obviously good because you can get things sort of more in stone. So obviously they're both going to be great, but this year's probably a little bit sort of, it's been organised over a longer period of time.
Did you plan it this year?
Yes, yeah, I did.
What have you got planned for tonight then?
A nice, big, loud quiz.
Is this in Bowland Bar?
It's in Bowland Bar, so come if you want.
That's an interesting choice for the second night. I know at the end of Freshers Week on the Sunday, a lot of colleges tend to do quizzes, but for the second night, that's certainly not, I don't think, the most common choice. Why did you decide to do the quiz?
Basically, well, we didn't decide to do the quiz. What it was, we decided on the first night. So basically, people from feedback wanted a loud night on the first night. People sort of get there and they're raring to go. So normally what would happen, on the first night, not much would happen. Then on the second night, it would be a night out. But from feedback, people said, we got here and we're raring to go. This is from last year, obviously. And so why don't we do a night out? So we did it, and obviously people are probably going to be hungover the second day. So quiz probably good.
Do you get any free food?
Of course we got free food. Lasagna, yeah.
Try and sober up and kick off the last of those hangovers.
Yeah, exactly. And then big night out Monday.
Is that one of the highlights of the week for you, the big night out?
Yeah, I mean, it is.
Or is it just a bit too stressful?
It's very stressful. It is definitely a highlight, but that's more sort of looser organised. So obviously the highlight for me personally is stuff that I've personally organised. So stuff like the sort of founders social and the charity shop social, I will obviously enjoy more because I'm seeing my own work sort of come into play. But the big night out is going to be great. Yeah.
And this founders is you with Lonsdale, isn't it?
Yeah, Bowland Lonsdale on Friday. It's going to be mental. We've got all sorts of flags and chants and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Can you give us an example of one of those chants that's okay for TV?
I can give you quite a few that aren't okay for TV. Yeah, obviously the classic is just Bowland Till I Die, and Lady in Red, which has quite a few verses, quite a few of them are distasteful, so I'm not going to say them.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's probably not one that we want to repeat live on it.
There's, I'll just give you a little taste of the alright bit. There's one where it's Lady in Magenta, and something that rhymes with magenta.
Oh gosh. Okay, I think that's probably the less said.
Yeah, I don't think there's many words that rhyme with that.
I think that it is one that is specific to your college, though, obviously, because of the college logo. Yeah. It's interesting that a lot of the college chants aren't really specific to each college, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, a lot of colleges steal each other's chants. Like, for example, last year at Founders, obviously the sporting events, obviously college on both sides of, say, the football pitch, and obviously be chanting at each other. And often they just make it up, and the other one would just completely steal it and just change the word, say, Bowland to Lonsdale, and then just say it back. A bit boring, really, but...
You're so original with yours.
Of course.
How do you teach them? Do you just do it every day? You just hammer it in?
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously poetic genius. Like, there's so many lines till Bowland Till I Die. It's not repetitive whatsoever. It takes ages.
You have to earn it.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, well, thank you for that. Thank you for joining us. I'm sure everyone appreciates the efforts that all of the JCRs go to in ensuring a smooth transition for their freshers.
Now, as we mentioned earlier, we are running a series this week called Diary of a Fresher. We asked freshers if they would like to do a series of video diaries for us throughout Freshers Week to see what they get up to and how they cope with the introduction to university life. We're going to be following 6 of them all week, and we caught up with the first 2 after they moved in yesterday.
That's right, and we've got our first 2 diary entries to show you now. First up, we've got Myri Robinson, who's studying theatre studies and is in Bowland College.
Baby, I'm playing on you tonight. Hunt you down, eat you alive. Just like animals, animals, like animals, moles. And maybe you think that you can hide. I can smell yourself for miles. Just like animals, animals, like animals, moles. Baby, I'm no girl, don't lie, 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 lie. You can't deny, nah, nah, nah. That beast inside, side, side, side.
What was it like moving in?
It was quite nerve-wracking at first, but luckily as you come up the drive, there's everyone sort of waiting for you and welcoming you and waving at you, and then we were greeted by people straight away who sort of made you feel really at home. So yeah, it was good. It wasn't as nerve-wracking as I thought.
What are you guys looking forward to this week?
Mainly just getting involved in everything and trying out the societies and looking around and trying to sort of make as many new friends as possible. So no, it should be fun.
Why did you choose Lancaster?
I think out of all the options of universities that I had, Lancaster was the most
welcoming. It felt the most friendly, and it was I like that it's quite small, and it feels, because I come from a village, so it was kind of just a nice little community to move into rather than a big city atmosphere.
Okay. What do you think of your college?
Oh, it seems really friendly. Yeah, and it's in a really good place on campus on Bowland, and yeah, it's just my accommodation is right outside Alexandra Square, so it seems really welcoming and really nice. Yeah.
What do you think of their Freshers Week plans?
Good. Yeah, I'm a bit daunted by all the going out and stuff, but no, it should be good. Tonight we've got a fancy dress, so that's always fun.
What are you going as?
Harry Potter, the obvious one.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I think that was really interesting to meet the first of our freshers there.
Yeah,
That's obviously
definitely.
a lot clearer memory for you than for me, because you're only a second year. But,
You're in your 8th year, aren't you?
6th year.
Oh,
6th
okay.
Year. Not quite there yet. But one thing I found interesting is she's saying that they were doing a fancy dress party and she was going as Harry Potter, and it was just the sort of the classic, and as everyone will go. Do you remember?
Well,
I'm
a fresher up this year, and I just remember all of my freshers talking about yesterday how they just bonded over their love for Harry Potter, and I think it's just amazing, because we had some American students there as well, and they did not understand this at all. They did not understand the UK's love for Harry Potter and how it just is just too far. But yeah, I think it's going really well. Fancy dress is always great for freshers.
Yeah, I remember that. I was in Pendle, and there was always the P for Pendle and Witches and Wizards. Witches and Wizards was a dead easy one because you've got a set theme. But I think P for Pendle and ones like that I think they can be a bit nerve-wracking for some people, because you do have to be creative and think of something. Yeah. I don't know how you've.
Well, I really liked it. I think it showed your personality as well, because you can think of something funny. You can go in a group. You could most people figure out when they get here anyway, so it's not too bad. But it is a bit nerve-wracking, isn't it, when you first get here?
Yeah, and you don't know what everyone else is going to. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I think that was interesting was she said she was from a fairly small place, and she liked the small feel of campus, which is, I think, really good. And I think it's interesting that that people from smaller places seem to link to Lancaster because it's a small campus.
Even people from big places love smaller places. It's got such a community. That's why.
Yeah, it's really good. Now our next fresher is Jim Huxter from Grisdale.
Baby, I'm playing on you tonight. Hunt you down, eat you alive. Just like animals, animals, like animals, moles. And maybe you think that you can hide. I can smell yourself for miles. Just like animals, animals, like animals, moles. Baby, I'm no girl, don't lie, 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 lie. You can't deny, nah, nah, nah. That beast inside, side, side, side.
I'm Jim. I just came up from Somerset down in the southwest, and I'm studying philosophy and linguistics, and hopefully with creative writing as a minor.
Great. So how was your journey to Lancaster today?
Well, I came up yesterday and we stayed in Preston, but it took about 6 hours, which is longer than it should have done, but there's a lot of traffic.
So have you completely moved in now, moved all your boxes in?
Yeah, well, we weren't able to do some last minute shopping earlier because it took longer to get through town than we expected, so my parents have gone to get some more ready.
Okay. So what do you think of your flat so far? Have you met everybody here, or is people still moving in?
People are still moving in. I think at 4 o'clock someone's coming along to try and force us together to talk.
Yeah, and what do you think of the college so far?
Very big. Intimidating.
Grisdale is one of the bigger ones. Yeah. Have you seen all the freshers' plans? Do you know what you're looking forward to most?
Yeah, I think so. I made a list of about 11 or 12 societies though, and a few of them have welcome events.
What societies?
I could list most of them. There's the Board Game Society, the RPG Society, Video Game Society, which probably have quite a lot of carryover, but also my friend who's also going along to some of them with my friend who's also coming up from, well, he's coming up from the Midlands, but we're going to go to the Radio Society, the Bellring FM, and the Comedy Institute. And then there's also the Philosophy Society and maybe the Debating Society and Pulsar, and I think there's still a few others as well.
And of course LA1 TV.
Yeah, I did put that on there as well.
So why did you choose Lancaster out of all the universities?
Really, it was because my course combination wasn't available most places were pretty far away, and in the end it came down between Lancaster and York. And when I heard about the way that with a lot of the subjects you could do 3 things, and that would give me the chance to do creative writing alongside my 2 other subjects, that sealed the deal really.
That was great to see another of our freshers there.
Oh yeah, definitely. He sounded so interested in all this society.
Yes, with that list he'd made. It's sad to see that LA1 TV wasn't at the top of the list there. But did you decide what societies you were going to join before you came here?
I had a good look, to be honest, before I came. It was one of the things that made me choose Lancaster as well, because it had such a good TV station. You know, blagging it up already. But I don't know. When I went to Freshers' Fair in the first year, I thought, oh my god, I'm joining so many. But then I figured I'm terrible at organising things. I'm not going to organise my life. So I kind of joined 2 last year, and I'm going to join some more this year and keep it going.
I've sort of found that, because I do an awful lot with the societies I'm involved with. I'm only in 2.
Yeah.
And I do remember making sure there was a music society and that they had the right sort of groups for me to join, because I'm a tuba player and I want to keep playing, and that was really important. I think LA1 TV I joined, and I was less into that when I started because I haven't been doing TV for years, unlike music. But I think it is really important for some people. I remember I was playing it with my brass quintet. I was playing it on the open days, and there was a student who came up to us and said that she was arriving in this year, and that she'd been to an open day last year, and one of the reasons she'd chosen to come to Lancaster was because they'd seen there was a music society here. And I think it's really great that some people are so keen on their societies.
I think it really integrates you into university life as well if you keep with your hobbies. It's just, it makes you feel at home, and you get new friends as well.
Well, we've got 4 more diaries taking place today, and they'll be broadcast tomorrow on Good Morning Lancaster.
Now we're joined by Dean John, one of the assistant deans from Graduate College. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be here.
Can you just explain briefly the difference for Freshers Week between Grad College and all of the undergraduate colleges? Because this is obviously, they're a little bit older, and it's their second take at Freshers Week, isn't it?
Yeah, for some of them, yes. Obviously, Graduate College is a lot of international students that come from quite far abroad and a lot of different cultures, a bit of a mixing pot really. So to be honest, I think the major difference between the 2 is the fact that with the undergraduate college, whether we kind of like to say it or not, the social activities are arranged around drinking quite a bit at the time, like the big nights out and kind of the nights in the bar and that kind of thing. Whereas in graduate college, we need to make a bit of an extra effort to make sure there's a lot of things on for the international students, because a lot of cultures actually they prefer kind of socialising around eating. And so, for instance, we've got a meal at Paolo Gianni's, and also we've got kind of trips to Blackpool and that kind of thing. So it's just emphasising those things so they don't kind of come over to England and think, oh, okay, well, I don't drink, I can't really get involved. So it's about being welcoming to those people as well.
But you do have a big night out, which you're sharing with County and Pendle colleges.
Yep.
How does that work? Where you just almost pretend you're another undergraduate college and just go along with it for that night?
I like the way that graduate students are always written off as if they don't like to party anymore, they're over the hill. No,
maybe it's just me.
You've got to remember, I mean, the age range of these people are from like 21 to, well, however old really. And yeah, we're like any other college, we have like reps that take everyone around the bars, anyone can get involved. It's literally just the same as another college on that night. So.
Now, talking of slightly older, you've been at Lancaster a little while yourself.
Yeah.
How you've seen quite a few Freshers Weeks, obviously. Then
tell us some stories.
More than my fair share. Oh right, you're on stories.
We want all the gossip.
You put me on the spot here. What kind of story do you want? Do you want a controversial story?
Whatever you've got. What when someone says Freshers Week to you, what do you think of?
The most memorable thing.
I think of my first. Actually, it was my second Freshers Week. I think it was when I was doing my first degree. I did a degree in business studies first, and then I've come back to study medicine now. But during my first Freshers Week, I think it was one of the in nights at the college. The bar closed at around about 11 o'clock, so a bunch of us decided that we're going to go and do some shots in our kitchen. And, obviously, like bad led to worse. I think the worst thing about that was that we were mixing Baileys with all sorts of other spirits, because you get curdling and all that kind of stuff.
gosh.
Ridiculous. And then, so we all go back to our rooms to sleep. One of the guys passes out at their sink, and the other guys, one of the other chaps, he dropped a glass in his sink and kind of, I think he carried on washing his hands, and then forgot that he dropped this glass in the sink.
Oh no.
So he just turned the hot tap on. He thought it was ice, and he was trying to poke it down the plug hole. Yeah.
That's
Luckily, he didn't cut himself though, really fluky, but yeah.
That's a little bit of a miracle there. That's an interesting story, and it's something that you may have to come up against this year, being an assistant dean for the college. Just tell us what that involves.
So assistant dean role across most of the colleges, primarily it's a disciplinary role really. So basically you're dealing with kind of if there's any like unsettling with any of the kitchens, so you're looking at like noise complaints, like theft of food, possible kind of tampering with fire equipment are the three top things really. The kind of things that people do like when they're drunk and probably regret it afterwards, but you always have to follow those up. However, in Grad, because we're a bit more settled, you don't get as much as that. So a lot of it's more of a kind of welfare, just making sure everyone's okay and they're settling into the UK. And we hold like office hours and encourage people to come to the English cafe and get involved and come down and use their English speaking skills and learn to socialise in England.
What's the thing you're most looking forward to this week then?
This week, probably the English cafe. You know, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but we do it in the graduate common room, and it's basically encouraging people to come down and use their English language. But because everyone's from like kind of China, India, Thailand, we have 70 different nationalities in Grad College, and you just sit around, you kind of drink tea and chat with people, and it's surprising what you kind of learn about different areas of the world just from chatting. So I'll really enjoy that. It's a couple of hours on a Thursday night from 7 till 9, and anyone can come down from any college.
Oh.
That's one thing I have found. I've lived in college for Grad for 3 years now, and I do find you get an amazing mix of people. Even in every flat, you'll have a couple from the UK, and then you'll have a few more students from. They can literally be from anywhere in the world, and it's a real different mix in Grad, isn't it? It's a much more international college.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think some of the other colleges are kind of starting to go that way as well, but. Yeah, you never fail to kind of be amazed at what kind of different pockets of the world people come from. Especially on Arrivals Day, we don't have a dedicated Arrivals Day like other colleges, because people are getting flights in from everywhere, so they can't arrive on the day. A lot of them will arrive next week and that kind of thing. And
you primarily have like Saturday and Sunday. It's Arrivals weekend, but then you have quite a few students turning up later in the week.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we've had 250 students as well that have been here over the summer, kind of sharpening up their English skills for the new term. So again, it's kind of that's another thing that Lancaster do for their students, is that kind of help you with a transition by putting a course on before coming here as well. So it's just about trying to give that like kind of bit of value added on their experience over here, not just kind of going away with a degree.
Do you carry that support on through the year?
Yeah, absolutely. Through the deanery system in the English cafe, obviously you try and kind of encourage people to use those skills, because what tends to happen is if people can get their conversational English correct, then whilst they're reading through their own essays, they actually understand when people like something doesn't sound quite right. And so the conversational side of things can help with the academic side of things.
Well, it sounds like you're going to have a great week, and thank you very much for joining us, Dean, and I hope everything goes well for the rest of the week. That's it for us today, but be sure to catch us tomorrow on Good Morning Lancaster.
We'll be showing the highlights of today, the remaining freshers in a diary of fresher, and the first of this year's Sugar TV.
Thanks for watching, and welcome to the all-new Lancaster University students. We'll be catching you on LA1 TV.